Good morning, cutie pies. I'm almost out of this. Look at that. Anyway, you guys are gonna get ready with me. I have a day of streaming. Um, and yeah, so I'm just gonna do my makeup and we're gonna chitter chatter. So I'm still like kind of building the base of what I want to go about with my channel. So forgive me for these random topics that nobody asked for. But it's really because, I'm trying to direct this to the right people so I can find the right community for me and build that community up and help others through that, right? So, anyway, I tried to do this video before, once again I deleted it. I gotta get out of that habit. It's just because I don't want to edit it. So, if I say something or mess up too many times or like, I end up not being like, I don't really like the flow of how I like told the story or whatever, I will literally delete the whole thing. Also, this stuff is great. Turtur. It's big fan of Korean skincare. It's just a toner. It's my favorite toner. It's the only toner I've noticed actual results with. Sunscreen. I actually should have put this on first. I was just distracted by my toner. I'm running out of everything. Anyway, I hope everyone is having a good week, taking care of yourself. Thank you so much, everyone who's been subbing to my platforms. I know, like, boudoir type photo shoots are not everybody's cup of tea. I love them, and I appreciate those who like to support me in that. So, thank you. But yeah. So today I think I want to talk about a little bit of what it's like being a content creator and having a chronic illness. I think not much of my life is very relatable, unfortunately. So these are things that I know people can relate to me on, and these are things that I really strive to build my community about. So you guys will hear me talk about like building your content creating platforms or just doing any kind of online work, because if you identify with the whole chronic illness thing, then you're likely someone whose body isn't made for the day in and day out kind of work thing, right? So, this is for my eyeliner and eyebrows. That's why I'm going to talk about it, what it's like being a content creator with a chronic illness. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about my chronic illness and what that's like. So, also for the most part, this is how I wake up. Like when I say my makeup stays on, like I literally fall asleep with my makeup and it stays on. It's so good. So this eyeliner I use for my eyebrows and my eyeliner. As you can see, this is what I wake up with. But I usually end up like rubbing lotion on my forehead and stuff. So before I go to bed. So even that case and scenario, these stay miraculously. This eyeliner is amazing. But yeah, those who wonder, and I will put up another eyebrow tutorial soon. Some people have been asking me on TikTok. So I feel like once I do this, I don't know how many girlies are on my page. I tend to not get very many girls who watch my stuff, which I wish they did. But they're intimidated by my beauty. That's so corny, but I've come to know that that's literally why. They just like sabotage things because they're insecure. Anyway, we'll talk more about that because maybe I can find the girlies who deal with that. And just by talking about that, I'll find those girlies. But nonetheless, what it's like being a content creator with a chronic illness. Now, if you don't have a chronic illness, what a chronic illness looks like is not every single day is the same. One day you could be having a really good day walking, and the next day you can't even walk. Now, I personally have learned this might not be every case and scenario, but for me, I personally learned that it's heavily due to what you eat. Hence why, like, on a day-to-day basis, we usually eat different foods. Hence why it changes, right? I'm watching My 600-Pound Life. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that show. I love it. As I've said before, I can kind of relate to them pretty well, especially with their eating habits. But anyway, I try to be real strict about my diet. What my diet looks like is literally chicken broth in the morning, because I make my dog's food in the morning, which has chicken broth in it. So I obviously, you know, that's like breakfast number 1. Breakfast number 2 will be maybe a breakfast burrito with potatoes, eggs, and chorizo. Like just a small one. I get a big one, but I cut it in like thirds because I can't eat it all. So you guys have seen me eat the breakfast burritos, so you know how big they are. But I don't eat that all in one sitting. I can't. One day I will be able to. That's my goal. But, and then nighttime comes, I have a smoothie for dinner, which I know some people would think is weird, but the coldness of the smoothie makes me shiver, and I get really cold and tired from shivering. And on top of that, all the carbs and stuff, there's not a lot of carbs in it, but just because it's sugary, carby, proteiny drink, it makes me kind of sleepy afterwards. So, I just drink a smoothie for dinner, and I have a lot of raw garlic in the day. I got this stuff off TikTok Shop. Look how beautiful this is. I guess you can't really tell. I'm a huge fan of highlighter, if you haven't been able to tell with how I wear my makeup. Which is really frustrating because I'm going to tell you guys this much. This is going to sound cocky and I really don't care, because you'll see it. I feel like I'm always ahead of trends, like for women's makeup and stuff, and that's kind of part of why I don't feel like women like me, is because I don't fit in with the status quo, and the things I do are really pretty, but they've not been done, and so people are like a little until everybody else starts doing it, and then everybody's doing it, right? So for instance, I wear highlighter as eyeshadow. Now, am I the only one who does this? No. But I have a platform, and I know people see me doing it and stuff like that. I like how this is shaped like a moon. But it's frustrating because I'll do my makeup, and people will make fun of me and literally come back and copy my makeup. So it's really frustrating because that's one of those things where I will always feel like the outsider, even in the alternative groups, even in the girl groups, because girls don't flock to me. You have to be like a safe kind of pretty for girls to flock to you. Not too pretty, but just like slightly pretty, so that they feel safe, not intimidated. But I don't water myself down for other people, so I find strong women to be around, and that's I appreciate that more because they're not insecure, they don't project. So it does take a certain kind of woman to be around me. That I have plenty of women friends. That doesn't mean I don't have women friends. I really want to have women lady following online though, you know, so it frustrates me because it's like, I'm not trying to be in competition with you weird ass ladies. Just be my friend. And I'll give you my secrets, like my makeup routine and stuff. Like, I don't care. You know? But don't sit there and make fun of me for my makeup routine and then turn around and copy me. That's been a thing since high school. It's so fucking annoying. And you'll hear me talk about that a lot because I experience it a lot more online, and it's more confusing to me. I don't know how to understand it in my head because I don't do that. So I don't get it. Like, if I like something of someone, I will just do it, but I will give them praise or the credit for the inspo. Like, I don't know. But truthfully, I never copy my look from other people. My look is just things that I've, except for my tattoos. I can say this was like a Pinterest tattoo, which it's in the work of like being reworked, which I'm kind of bummed about it, but just wait, it'll be done. My tattoo artist is in jail. That's why I'm bummed about it, because I don't know when I'll get it finished. So he understood the concept, because it was him and I working on the concept. So now I have to go find someone else. Anyway, yeah, so there's lots of random things you'll hear me talk about a lot. And it's more so because I'm trying to understand it. And while I do understand it, I still don't get it. I don't get behaving that way because I don't understand jealousy at this point. Like, when I was younger, jealousy was because other guys around me were trying to make me feel jealous, right? It never stemmed from, like, me, like, whenever I'm alone, this is the best way I could describe it. Whenever I'm alone, single, jealousy does not happen for me. What it looks like, if anything, is, oh, I want that, and I know I can have it, so I'm going to work to get it, right? Thanks for inspiring me, whoever that was, kind of thing, you know? But when I dated guys who were really toxic, jealousy, it looked different. And it's because they made me feel like there is a need to compete with other women to keep me in that spot that I was in, right? And once I figured that out in my early 20s, I was like, ew, get the fuck away from me. So anyway, but it's funny because, you know, when you do grow, you grow mentally, right? But not everybody does. Funny enough. So I still, now being online, I still deal with this behavior from other women. I get accounts taken down because of other girls who just don't like how I look. I have girls who will stalk me, like I said, stalk my stuff, and they'll comment the meanest things on my page. And then copy the shit that I do. And it reminds me of high school. It reminds me a lot of high school. And it's funny because a lot of the people who made fun of me in high school are over here copying my looks, trying to get inspo from how I decorate and stuff like that. So it's frustrating to deal with because I really don't know how to deal with it. It's different when they just do it and don't be mean to me. But when they do it and like stalk my stuff and try to morph into me and throw shade subtly, but it's not subtle, I can understand that. And that's where I will mention I don't, and this is not for just women, men do this too, the passive aggressiveness. I've noticed a lot in people, and that's what I don't get along with people with, because I can sense that and I don't know what to do with it. Because to me, that speaks louder than your actual words, and my mind wants to respond to the passive. I don't know if anybody will understand that, but I feel like some people will. But I don't do well with people because people are so passive. People are so projectory, you know. So anyway, that's why I appreciate my YouTube people. I was actually bragging about y'all on my Twitch stream last night. My first Twitch stream back. Which I'm not going to post that one because it's not of any substance. It's just like hanging out and whatnot. But I really appreciate you guys on YouTube being a safe space for me. Like, TikTok is, it's someplace that I went viral on, and very easily. And, but people are so much more mean on there to me. I don't know why, because I just try to make funny videos so people can laugh, because life is fucking hard enough as is. And then when I learn stuff, I want to give that to people, you know, because, hello, knowledge. But it's a little frustrating, but I'm grateful for you guys on the YouTube page because you guys are freaking just very welcoming. Obviously, I think, but like, there's obviously people, like, there's been people who've commented on my shit who are kind of fucking losers, but they're not losers. They're just going through a hard time. I'm sorry. But nonetheless, this eyebrow is a little shorter. I would say the ratio of good comments to bad on TikTok, it's like, I think like 80-20. And then on here, it's like maybe like 0.1% of bad comments. That's nice. That feels nice. But I guess that's where like making the long form content really does help you find your community, because I guess a hater's not going to sit here and listen to whatever the hell I'm saying, right? Right? Anyway. Let's talk about what it's like being a content creator, though, with a chronic illness. So you guys see me sit a lot, right? And the next video after this is going to be my chronic illness. And then I'm going to do a video of answering comments for YouTube. So I'm still earning rent right now. If you see this and you want to donate, feel free. I think I'm like $1,800 to my rent goal. It's due tonight. So I have a long day of sales ahead of me. It's my birthday, so if you want to give a little birthday treat. Anyway, so yeah, what is it like as a content creator with a chronic illness? Firstly, I'll have you guys know I'm not a wealthy content creator. I'm still up and coming, which I'm grateful for because once again that makes it kind of relatable. So if I could show you guys how to do anything, this would be it, right? You don't even need to put your face on social media to make content and make money off of it, right? So, but I prefer that way because I'm a little recluse, secluded goblin thing, and this is my way of finding my people. I have the people that I like in my life. I have them. I want a little more community about more in-depth convos about what I go through that my friends don't necessarily go through, I guess. So like my joints and stuff like that. But for those who don't know, I have rheumatoid arthritis. I've had it since I was 6. And what that is your body attacks itself and it sends a weird response to your body and where your joints swell up. They flare up is what we call it. So if you hear someone going through a flare, whether it be fibromyalgia, arthritis, or anything like that, that just means their body is highly inflamed. Highly inflammatory, very swollen, even though you might not see it. For rheumatoid arthritis, you can see it. I'd show you my ankle right now, but I'm not wearing chonies. I'm not trying to fucking flash YouTube. So you guys are just gonna have to believe me. Those who know. You guys, if you follow me on Facebook, you know you've seen. This finger is a little swollen. You can kind of see. Do you see how it's a little raised right there? And if you compare it to this, there's no raise. It's just straight across, right? There's that little bloop. That's swelling from the joint, and it's just the fluid. It gets swollen. It gets infected essentially. So when I was younger, I had to get procedures where they would stick a needle in my joints and pull the fluid out because it's so infected. So there's one time they did it in the office as an adult. Because as a kid, they just put you under, but as an adult, they don't give a shit. Like, pain? So? So they're just like, and you're just like, and they pretend that the lidocaine shots help, but they fucking don't. Anyway, that's the pain shots. They don't help. Because it's really just superficial, just on top of the skin. And they're like getting right in the joint. But anyway, they stuck a needle in my elbow because it had like a golf ball size of swelling. It would not go down no matter what medicine we used. And they took the fluid out and it was like bright green, like pus. You know, when you get like a really bad zit or something and the pus color that comes out. Sorry to be graphic, but it was like a bunch of it in my elbow. So I'm just trying to paint the severity. When you have an autoimmune illness, some people have it worse. Some people have it where they can just take one pill and they're fine. For me, I have a very severe kind. I was on a wheelchair growing up. I'm actually on a scooter right now. You want to see it? There she is. Oh shit, she's even got that reflective strip. Oh, what? So right now it's my left hip that's bothering me, but I think the best thing about having a platform is that it makes things a lot more easy to deal with in my day-to-day world. When I used to work for 9-to-5 jobs, which I'll go over like my content creating journey, because that'll go over like what I used to do for a living and things like that, because that will give sense of why I do what I do. I used to do a lot of sales. I like sales. I enjoy people. I really do, even though they're kind of assholes sometimes. I enjoy people. I like them. This is just the one lighter than this color. But honestly, it's difficult having a chronic illness while being a content creator. So as a kid, I had to go through like tons of surgeries, stuff like that. Always in the hospital, so I was already like secluded from my schoolmates in a sense, which was fine. I made friends very easy. But nonetheless, it did make me the odd duck out, right? So I'm kind of used to being the odd duck out. And in the social media community, I still feel like the odd duck out because most content creators they're able-bodied, right? But I'm not too disabled where I'm not sitting in a wheelchair like, you know, how some people with severe cerebral palsy is, you know. When people hear you have a disability, that's, I think, what they picture in their head. Because I've told people I have arthritis and they just straight up don't believe me because they think, I don't know, they think only old people get that. And then when it's like me being on a scooter and stuff, they just think I'm being lazy. I literally used to stream, and I'm back into streaming now, but before, when I just streamed and no content like OF and stuff like that, people would come in and call me lazy, immoral, all these insane insults because I'm streaming for a living. I'll be like, hey, a reminder, like, my rent's coming up, if you want to donate, blah blah. And people would come in and be so freaking mean, so mean. And like there was one time I remember where I was in so much pain, but I had to stream. It's like a job. And I remember there was just one movement because it's my hip. So I just the slightest, like if you just move the slightest, excruciating pain. I literally couldn't even lay down without being in excruciating pain. Nothing got rid of the pain. And so there was one point when I just moved the wrong way and I could not hold back the tears because I was in so much pain. And a group of dudes came in and just being so mean because calling me lazy, faking it, blah blah. And at a certain point my mods blocked them, but people are just very not understanding with it because they see this. They see, oh, perfectly healthy looking girl sitting down, you know, whatever. Because I'm not in a wheelchair or anything like that. But even then, if you're in a wheelchair, people will still be mean to you. I've been in a wheelchair as a kid. People think you're faking it. People think you're being lazy. People think, oh no, you can walk. Because they've always been able to walk their whole life. They don't understand not being able to walk. They don't understand their body malfunctioning like that, you know? Which, what a blessing to have, because I don't know what that's like. I've never known what that's like. I have very few memories of not being, you know, fucked up with this pain shit. And just breaks my heart because I just think like there's a lot of shit I've missed out on, to be honest. Which a lot of people with chronic illness feel that way too, so that's where like normal bodied people really won't understand that. And like, so like yesterday I want to wake up, I want to do things in my house and clean, but I can hardly even stand the pain laying down kind of thing. So it's a little difficult kind of mitigating that situation, and it's a bummer because with growing up how I grew up, my grandfather and my grandmother were like my parents, and my father was obviously my father. But, you want a pistachio? Here you go. I think, you know, for a bit, my family never invalidated what I was going through. They always knew it was severe. So that's where it boggles my mind that people are so mean about this, because I could never look at someone and see them, like, even if I'm limping and I'll walk outside in the stores, people are so mean the way they look at me. And it's different than how I look. I know people will be like, well, it's probably because of how you look. No. Because I've gone into stores without limping And people look at me differently because of how I look, but not because of how I'm walking. But, yeah, it's just difficult because even then, like, my body is so exhausted from just being sick. So I have to sleep a lot. And obviously I gotta make my money, right? So that's where normal jobs just couldn't cut it for me after a while. I worked part-time like when I was 16, but then when I had to move into full-time to, you know, supply for myself, I just couldn't do it because I was constantly in and out of doctor's appointments, in and out of the hospital, procedures, tests, whatever, you name it. And even people are like, yeah, but there's forms. No, you literally can have those fucking forms, which I don't get the point of these. It's called an ADA form. You can have those forms. You can sign everything, fill it all out, have the doctor fill everything out. I literally got fired while I had all that shit taken care of. Because I was in the hospital for a week, and then I had to go into like back-to-back testing. Like the next week I had to like Wednesday go to some MRI test and the next day go to like some other test. So jobs don't want to work with you on that stuff. So I had to learn to kind of supplement my income for myself. And as a kid, my dad would go through phases of drinking a lot because, well, what do you expect with ex-military, I guess. But he put me in a position when I was like 6 to where he drank a lot and my stepmom drank a lot. So they just partied all night and passed out during the day. And so I remember staying home from school, 6, 7 years old, and just making food for my brothers, making art and selling it on the side of the road to have the ability to buy food for my brothers. Because at that point it was me, Greg, Koa, and Sage. And Koa was 1, Sage was a newborn. Greg's like 16 months older than me, so when you hear me talk about him, he's like a year older than me. He's my older brother. He's my favorite brother out of all of them. He's the one that I grew up with the most, though, too. We endured a lot together, so. But he's the one that I talk about that doesn't talk with our family anymore, which bums me out, but I respect it. Sometimes I try to text him. I'll just say, Greg, just to make sure he's alive. I think I stopped reaching out because it scares me the idea of him, like, not being alive anymore. But, makes me sad. But if you're watching this, Greg, I miss you and I love you. But yeah, I respect his decision because truthfully, even if he came back to our family right now, I don't think my other family members are in a place to receive him properly. Because, oh, I'm so emotional this morning. It's whatever. You guys gotta see, like, good and bad sides of me, I suppose. But, yeah, my dad will still be like, I don't know why he's so angry. Eat. What? Anyway, so I had to learn how to fend for myself from a young age. And as I grew up, that just became easier. Like working for myself and getting a job and stuff like that. When I was younger, I had more of the health to do so. But now, my health is getting better because I know it requires me to have good diet. But there was like a little blip last month where like I stopped having my smoothies. I didn't realize how important those were. And then I went downhill. And then my meds ran out. And then I went downhill even more. So I wasn't able to be as productive as I usually am. But the point that I really want to get with this video is that mine is crying. So sorry. But I appreciate y'all giving me the space and listening. But is that not only just chronic illness wise, anyone can do this. Anyone can go viral. Anyone can hop online and work towards this, making lots of money. Well, I don't make a lot of money. I think at this point I'm like making like 6K, 5K a month. And that covers my rent, which is about $2,500. And I'm just transparent about this because I want you guys to see the growth. And from a year before, if you saw me a year before, you'd know that there was a lot of growth. So my rent's about $2,500, and that covers utilities and everything too. Electric, garbage, water. And then I have Patreon OF that I make like the most money on, and then I get subs through TikTok, which TikTok takes 70%. So obviously I don't make a lot of money on TikTok, but I'll do live streams and I'll make a decent amount there. So just from a young age, I've had to learn to sell stuff. Although at a young age, I wasn't selling the same things. Okay, bear that in mind. Keep it appropriate. Okay, I don't want any fucking weirdos on here. But nonetheless, I learned from a young age just to be good at sales. And so when I started getting increasingly worse with my health, which was because of the stress environments that I was in and stuff like that, the food and stuff like that. So, and mind you, I've been very resistant to meds. I haven't given my story, but most meds don't work for me. I'm that kind of person. I've tried every single med in the market. I'm waiting for a new medicine to come out at this point to try. That's kind of where I'm at with the medicines in my whatever you want to call it, market, in my illness, whatever. So for me, I stepped into content creating, I think 3 years ago. And at that time I was dating this doofus, and I was taking heavy amounts of chemo, drinking heavy amounts, which you're not supposed to do, but I was in so much pain that that's the only thing that would get rid of the pain. And I just remember one day just getting sick of everything. Sick of it all. I was working full time, and the dude that I was with wasn't working at all. If he got a job, it would last for like a week and then he'd quit. So I was making the money, supporting the income. I was highly sick. I was making all the food. I was cleaning the home. I was literally doing everything, and it was just too much for my body. And so I just remember waking up one day and seeing like a whole bunch of beer cans right next to my bed, because I drank like a 24 pack and just like would throw them next to the bed and clean them up the next day. So I remember just looking at it and being like, I don't want to do this anymore. And so I just stopped. I quit the chemo. I quit the beer. I remember the reason why. So if you're not familiar, if you have like severe autoimmune illnesses, they give you low doses of chemo. And most of my life I've been on anti-cancer drugs, or chemo, because of the severity. And how they explained it to me is, when you have cancer, it's like a cell that's it's overreactive or like overproducing, something like that, right? And that's kind of what your body is. Your body's like overreactive to everything. So they give you that in hopes to kind of subdue the damage that happens when you flare, because every time I flare, it kind of ruins my joints. It makes them not smooth and have little spurs. Does it hurt? No, I don't feel them. Some people it does hurt though, but at that point, and you hear me talk about this a lot, because how old was I? I think 14. I think I might have been 13, but I think 14. I get my ages mixed up, so forgive me. I'll have to like really find like a chronological order of this shit. I have medical records, but I don't have them, right? Like they're somewhere in the medical database. But yeah, so I was on it for a while, and for a bit things really were good. I don't know why. Oh, I wasn't very resistant to these medicines when I first started them as a kid. But now as an adult, I have built up an immunity to these meds. So they don't work as well. But it's okay, because we found a new medicine that works. So unfortunately, during my whole life, I've been like a guinea pig. Like, we're always testing these medicines, and that's where my health is always And workplaces, your health has to be like this. They actually hire you expecting your health to be like that. So when you're not able-bodied like that, the environment isn't inclusive for you. no matter how much they say they want it to be. And everybody knows how jobs are, right? When they don't like what you're doing and they can't fire you for that, they'll just find a reason to fire you. You know? So that's kind of how I felt every time I went into a job, and it wasn't every time, but because there are some jobs I just didn't like that I quit. But the jobs that were impacted by my health, I think there's like maybe 3 jobs that I can think of. But nonetheless, it's still difficult to get a job because for me, I don't even have a wheelchair. I was lucky enough that Mark, he was someone that I met on my streams, got me this scooter because my doctor, I asked for a wheelchair and he's like, I can't prescribe you a wheelchair, physical therapy. And I was like, well, can I get physical therapy? And then can I get a wheelchair there? And he's like, you don't need physical therapy. Meanwhile, I can't even walk, you know? And I know when I come out of this, I need physical therapy because I need to teach my body how to re-walk. So when I am talking about my state, I'm really currently in this little scooter. It's not as bad as it could be because it's been worse. But holding a normal job is very difficult with my illness. And I think the last job that I had was a work from home tech job. And like if I sit at a desk for long periods of time, my ankles swell. It's just how my body works. So, and even like this is really hard for me to open because my joints. So things like this I struggle with. But through the process of going through jobs like that, I've really just come to learn that jobs are not reliable for me. And so other people, they find that stuff reliable, right? But for me, because I don't have the same health promises as other people do, it's not as reliable. So because I'm familiar with sales and stuff like that, I can rely on my ability to, you know, do the sales. So that's kind of what I do. And it's not easy. I'm not a top, once again, I am not a top ranking, like, influencer. I don't make a lot of money, but do I plan to? Yes. I recently, like I said, just started taking my social media stuff serious. Before, it was kind of like, I was really just focusing on my health. I didn't know what I was doing, so the social media like helped, but I was still struggling. And I was like, you know what? There's actually like really good stuff coming from the social media. Let me figure out how to do it better, right? So that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm going to do. And so that's where I'm happy that like I'm not at the top level, but I feel like I will be with the work that I put in, and I hope this year. And that's where, to me, you know, some people will be like, oh, and truth be told, you can work on your social media career while working a normal time job. That's just not an option for me. But work from home isn't bad. I just don't like the fact that if I had like a bad day, I have to call into my boss and they don't believe you. They don't understand, once again, this concept of like being able to walk one day and not the other day. They just think you're lying. And so you get fired because they think you just don't want to work. And it's like, what? And honestly, with content creating, I get hate on for so much, including my chronic illness. But there's no job that's going to cater to me like I cater to myself. And so that's where it has its payout is better because I can focus on my health and not have to call into a boss and be like, hey, I can't walk very well, and then like I'll see about tomorrow, and like the next day not walking very well, you know. So that's what it looks like. And like at least with my stream, I can be like, yeah, I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow because of how my joints are, but it's not like I'll get fired. how hard I work is directly how much money I make, right? So, but for social media, I feel like it's even better because um, you can make a lot more money than what a normal job would pay you. And you just have to have that dedication to it, you know? It doesn't require you to be anything but dedicated and consistent. You don't have to be a girl, you don't have to be a boy, you don't have to be a gamer, you don't have to be a vlogger. You can do whatever you want, and that's the beauty of social media. And I think people just don't want to be seen, they don't want to be, you know, on platforms like that, which I get, because some of these people are just wild to deal with. Dealing with people projecting their weird ass attitudes all the time, it's crazy. It's annoying. I hate it, but you learn to deal with it, much like you learn to deal with bad customers. The better part of social media is you can think of them like bad customers, but you gotta tell them to shut the hell up, and that's even better. So, but yeah, it's really frustrating, to be honest, because I know I could go big on social media, but it's just my health getting in the way. But I know what I need to do for my health. And it's frustrating even more with that because there's so much, like, it's hard for me to eat already. It's hard for me to, I latch on to foods, and then if I don't like that food anymore, then I have no food to eat, essentially, in my mind. So then I have to find a new food to latch onto, and it has to be healthy, has to be like well-rounded, because otherwise then I can't walk. So my dietary restrictions are really difficult, and that's what makes that diet difficult, because, you know, a lot of people, I don't know really anyone who could go without sugar for their whole life, unless they really lived away from society and stuff like that, or just didn't ever have it, so they don't know what it tastes like. But for me, like baked brownies, cookies, I love pastries, which I love baking. So, but hard to stay away from those things. But I'm very good at it. My birthday month, I splurged a little bit, but my joints are feeling better. So things I know will be more consistent. And I told myself, if by the time Halloween comes around and I'm not like walking around at a pumpkin patch, and I really failed myself and I fucked myself over, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to imagine October where, you know, my finances are lame, my joints are lame, you know, I don't want to be, I'm a little stressed today because of rent, but we'll be fine. August will be making that turnaround completely because everything's finally kind of like colliding together. But with myself, at least, chronic illnesses look different from person to person, truthfully. And anyone with a chronic illness can say that, because sometimes they have it bad, but maybe it's like for fibromyalgia, maybe it's their nerves, not their joints, right? So it looks different person to person. But like I said, for me, mine's so severe, and I'm not on disability. And people always think, oh, you should be on disability if you're so disabled. First off, disability gives you like $1,200 a month, and you can make like $1,200. And I say like because maybe the numbers are different, but I don't want to. Like, I could not live on just $1,200. My rent's $2,500, right? So already that's putting me in like a weird position. So, my eyelashes are wonky, but I choose not to be on disability because, not because I don't think I could get on it, but because I really want to work hard on my social media journey and be making those 10K months, not just for myself, but also to prove to people that they can do it too. If you have an autoimmune illness, if you have a chronic illness, mental illness. I don't really like saying illness because I don't really consider ADHD, autism, anything like that an illness. But that's probably biased, or ADD, because I have it. So it's like, obviously, like, I don't feel like it's an illness to me. I just don't like that word with it. It's not the word that I would use, truth be told. Now, physical illness like this, yes. But nonetheless, it's very great for those who have any kind of illness. And I think the bummer about it is, it's not a bummer, because I don't want to be sick. But people don't believe me because I'm not like physically like in a wheelchair, like all shriveled up or anything like that. And that's not what all illnesses look like. And it's even more frustrating because I try to be open about this stuff. People will be like, oh, why were you gone? Oh, why do you do this? Why do you do that? And I explain because my illness and like blah blah. And then I always get people at the same time hating on me. Oh, you just want attention. Oh, blah blah. Like, I don't know what to say to that, truthfully, because I'm a content creator. You're gonna see the ins and outs of my life, and my life is literally, my chronic illness is 100% of my life. It's not my personality. It's not whatever. It's not an act. It's not anything like that. It is 100% of my life. So when you talk to me, and if it's always about my illness, then yeah, understand. It's because I'm going through it with my illness. It's frustrating because it's not just the fact that I can't walk on a day-to-day basis. It's the fact that I can't do anything. I get bored sitting here at home. I want to create more, but I can't. I want to make more money, but it's difficult because the chronic illness factor. And like, if I had a wheelchair, I could probably just sit in my wheelchair and get money all day. But I don't. And I don't like leveraging my illness to make people feel bad for me, for them to give me money. I'd rather people support me just because they like my shenanigans and whatnot, right? So I don't like using that, which is annoying because when I do end up bringing it up, which is very rare, there's always these idiots who are like, oh, you're using this to blah 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 blah, kind of like a Gypsy Rose moment. Like, I've been watching a lot of Gypsy Rose, and I understand now why people say that, because of people like her, you know, where there's people like myself who, I struggled growing up. If my family would have been given a house, and my father was a veteran, like, I couldn't walk, I was wheelchair bound, we didn't even know what I had, I was going through multiple tests. Like, if my father would have been given a house, my childhood would have been way better. He wouldn't have struggled, therefore we wouldn't have struggled. But like, it's always been a norm for me and my family, so we've never used it as like a con or like try to get people to feel bad for me, because I never wanted to be in that position, and I still don't. It's not a victim, oh woe is me. It's like, I know I can get out of this, but at the same time, I want to be able to talk about it without assholes coming into my shit and being like, oh, you're immoral, you're lazy, you're a terrible human, blah blah, just because I'm talking about my illness. Like, I had a guy who was a Jehovah Witness, and he had his profile picture of him in his church outfit in front of his church, and he came in just telling me how awful I was because I was streaming, just talking about my illness, and because someone was asking like why it couldn't work, so I'll answer honestly. And truth be told, I don't think of myself as not being able to work. I think of this as very temporary, and because in the future I want to have my own business, so I will be working. Like, I'll be working longer than 9 to 5. And even when I did work, I was the kind of person to work like 12-hour days. I don't mind it. I really enjoy keeping to myself. I really like being alone. And on top of that, getting my money and achieving my goals that I've wanted since a kid. So, but it is really frustrating because although I don't physically present ill, it's because I try to physically present as normal, because people are so mean to me when I talk about my illness or show that I'm sick or anything like that. People are so fucking mean. Like, to the point where like I've had to end streams because they were so mean to me. And it's really like some weird juxtaposition that you're in when you are not healthy, because you want to find your community because it's so isolating, because you feel like you're the odd one out because there's so many healthy people in this world and they're all out and about. The unhealthy people aren't out and about. They're in their homes being sick, right? So to me, it's like that double-edged sword where like people are like, oh, it's not that bad, but it's not that bad because you don't ever see people who are that bad because they're in their home, because they're sick. And when I say, oh, I'm sick, I don't mean like I'm coughing, like, like, oh, I'm sick, because I say that and people are like, oh, well, I still work when I have a cold. Okay, Bruce, great, good for you. Okay, but you would crumble under the pain that I'm going through. I've given birth. I'm tattooed head to toe. My whole head is tattooed. The pain that I go through on a daily basis is way worse than any pain that I've been through. Except for the daily basis one. So, and people are like, oh yeah, but you're still smiling, blah, blah. Well, what do you want me to do? Cry about it all the time? I'm literally in pain right now. What am I supposed to do? And then if you cry about it, then there's people who are like, oh, stop faking it. You're being blah, blah. Do you see what I mean? It's like you can never really present yourself truly if you have chronic illness or autoimmune illness or anything like that, you know? And it's frustrating because it's my everyday life. I'm trying to find my eyeliner. I don't know where it went. It's my everyday life. It's what I deal with every day. It's a struggle. It really is. And that's literally why I do content creating, because it's the only thing that's given me the financial reprieve that I've needed to get a move on with my life. Like I said, I want to own a restaurant. I want to own a bar. I have a lot of creative things that I want to do. And I think, you know, for me, my illness is not a factor of whether or not it'll get done. So I don't see it that way. But when I talk about it, people see it as like, for some reason, that I'm trying to gain sympathy or whatever. I'm trying to educate. I'm trying to tell the people who don't know people like this exist, that people like this exist, okay? And to be nicer to people, because people are so mean to me for literally nothing. People are going to be mean no matter what, because people are miserable. And when they don't know how to healthfully deal with what's going on in their life, they're going to project every time. There it is. So, regardless, there's going to be mean people. But it's never going to stop my content creating journey. And I'm excited because although I'm doing better than I was last year, I think, little wig tape. I don't like when it shows, but I need to cut it. Anyway. But I think the best thing that I can do is show people that, to make sure everything's even before I put on my little stripey thing. This one kind of goes up a little bit more than this one, huh? Does it? Yeah, it does a little bit. Let's see if I can fix it. But, I feel like if I'm just open about it, I'll be able to find my other chronic illness baddies, or people who have chronic illness people in their family and stuff like that. Whatever, I don't give a shit. And connect with them, because I really don't, truthfully, I don't, like I said, I don't see myself in this pity light. Like, I don't see this as something that halts what I do, you know. It makes things a little difficult because people are not very understanding. I've come to learn that the majority of people are not understanding. They want to think they are because they want to be categorized as that, but they're really not. Because when you present them something that's different than their day-to-day life, they don't know how to respond. And usually when they respond, it's very rude. It's very mean, because they see you as not a productive member of society, not contributing as much, which is not true. I feel like, you know, I would love to do all these jobs. I'd love to be a therapist. I'd love to be a chef and everything. And I really think this is the best way for me to do all of those at once. I can talk to people and find like-minded individuals and help them through their situation. And that's where, like, I feel like talking about this, at least I'll find more autoimmune people who deal with this. And maybe if they're struggling, they'll see this as maybe a sign to start their social media. And you don't even, like I said, you don't even have to do face accounts. You don't have to do this. I just do it this way to try to get the point across to people. It's the best way I know how. And I believe in being authentic. So this is the way I want to show up authentically. You know, I guess that looks different person to person. But nonetheless, you guys can look at the puppies real quick. But I want people to see, autoimmune illness or not, anyone can do this. It's not just for people who are sick or whatever. Like, I want everyone to get on this kind of shit because it's money that can be made and you can sleep and make money. And while I'm not there yet, I'm gonna figure it out so that you guys can do it, and I'll help you with it easier. But for now, I'm still at like the beginning tier. I think before my OF got taken down, I was doing a lot better. I was having like 7 to 8K months. But it got taken down and I got to rebuild it. So that's okay. That'll take time. But I guess this year I can show you guys that I rebuilt it. And I'm struggling with my health. I've been struggling with my health since last year really bad because the pregnancy really fucked me up. But things are getting better, so I feel like these last few months are it. Like, these are the few months that I've been waiting for. Like, they're here, you know. So I just want to be able to get myself at the beginning or like the end of like the worst phases, I guess. Like, because I don't want to be at the top and be like, yeah, if I could do it, you could do it. And you guys are like, yeah, but that's not very realistic. Like, I'm trying to keep it as realistic as long as I can so that the people who want to go on these journeys can go on them as well. Like, social media, you can make a TikTok account and get it to 10K just by posting like police clips. People love police clips. People love sports. So if you like sports, you can post sports clips, you know, and or if you just like to watch TV all day, you can watch your favorite shows and clip the dramatic parts with maybe some commentary, you know. You don't have to show your face, and you can do exactly what you love to do, and you don't have to do anything crazy. TikTok Shop, as a matter of fact, you can buy stuff and just promote TikTok Shop stuff. So there's lots of ways to make money. I'm not necessarily there yet, but I will be. While dealing with all my health and all this stuff, and where it is, the final goal is restaurant and to be just really doing the things with my platforms. I really do think I could get to 3 million. The first time I started TikTok was when I was in that. I started when I was dumped the drinking, chemo, boyfriend, all of it, gone. Get out. So that was during that time. And I started TikTok really just because I liked video editing. I was just fucking around, you know. And then I started gaining traction and I went viral. My first account hit 90K. And then it got taken down. And then my second account hit 75K, and that got taken down. Next one hit 50K, and then I have one at 38K right now. My Instagram's at 66K. So, like, I know I'm very capable of doing this just without any effort, right? I can just post myself and it'll happen. So that's where I want to take that lead and take it even stronger and go with it. Because obviously that's a strong suit that I need to lean into. So I want to try to do that. And I want to get those 10, 20K months, even 50K months. Are you kidding me? And then I want to start a bar here locally in Arizona. And then I want to start a restaurant next year. And then I want to start an organization to feed the homeless and keep the homeless fed. And then maybe gut out a mall and start renovating that for a shelter for homeless and veterans here in Arizona. And I want to build like a resource center in there. Like, so maybe they need to go to the doctor, you can send them down to suite, blah, 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 and it's in the same building, you know? Or maybe they need to go to art therapy, that's on the second floor, where Zoomies used to be, you know, something like that. So that's the goal, and then further down the road, when I have this restaurant, I want to open up like a little compound for me and my family, and do a farm to table, so I have a farm and have an Airbnb so that there be my homies and my family. It'd really just be probably me, my dad, and his wife, and my brother if he ever were to come back. But other than that, my homies, and then die peacefully on the compound. But I want it to have an Airbnb, and I want to continue doing my social media journey because, like, say, like, someone just needs to come and do social media and they want to do the same thing and they want to live on the compound and peacefully and contribute to the community with our vegetable garden and animal and stuff like that, you know? So then they can do whatever they want. For instance, one of my friends, Bubba's, he mentioned, like, he wants to dress up as an orc and do, like, blacksmithing. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. That's exactly what I want, because I don't want like a compound of like normal houses. I want little fairy houses, little hobbit houses. I want it to be very whimsical. I want it to be very magical. I want when people visit there to believe in magic when they leave, kind of thing, you know? So, gotta have the good energy going about, but that's the goal. So, when you guys see me make that, you'll fully believe in manifestation and shit like that. You create your own reality, and although chronic illness or not, chronic illness sucks, but life sucks even without chronic illness, right? But life can always suck worse. I can literally be stuck in like a third world country at the bottom of a, like in Congo or whatever, at the bottom of a freaking mud pit searching for what, uranium or whatever the hell, lithium or whatever the fuck, I don't know. Things can always be worse. So I'm very grateful where I'm at, and that's where I want to spread the whatever, because a lot of y'all like to consume media, and you can make money while consuming media. You don't have to post your face. You don't have, you know. And a lot of us are stressed in our life because of money. And money can help a lot of things in life, you know. Absolutely. Make things comfortable, blah, blah. So I'm on that journey. I know you guys are on the money journey in life, right? But if you're looking for a sign to start your social media journey, this is it. It's just, technology is just going to keep advancing, okay? You might as well lean into it. And just get with the change, you know. That's one thing that's always going to be consistent, is change. So you might as well just be readily available to adapt to it, you know. But honestly, for me, as a social media content creator, I think it's difficult because I have the chronic illness and I want to do things more different, and it is because of my health, and I know my health is getting better. So I know I was crying before, but I get frustrated, but my health is getting better, and I really think at the end of this month I'll be taking my first motorcycle ride, and when you see that, you'll know I'll be better. So, because it's been about a year since I rode my motorcycle. So that's the goal, like the small goal, but I think the most frustrating thing is when I do these videos like this, people are like, oh, just get a job. And hello, if I could, I would. I love working, believe it or not. When I work 12 hours. I'll go in on weekends. I'll pick up overtime. It's just because I keep to myself, and I really have goals to like make a restaurant. And I've learned that through the 9 to 5, I'm not going to be able to start a restaurant. The startup cost is about $4 million. This is like Vegas worthy restaurant. This is not like little Chili's or anything like that. Okay. So I really hurt my foot this morning. I slammed the door on it. But that I knew my grandfather has connections, so he's very wealthy. And I mentioned that before because at first, like, I felt very upset as a kid because, or as a young adult, because my father would go through cars like crazy and drinking and driving and crashing them. And my grandfather would just supply the next car. No big deal. Oh, you need your rent paid because you've been drinking all your money away this month? Let me pay it. And so as I got into my adulthood, I was supposed to be given a car. They had a spare car that they were going to give to me. And in high school, around this time, trigger warning, my grandfather started essaying me. And he started being like really mean to me. So I was like kind of passive aggressive towards him. Not really, but like I'd be in the kitchen making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and he'd turn around and try to like tell me how I should be making the peanut butter and jelly, like to a T. Like, no, you need to put the peanut butter on the... Bro, I know how I like my sandwich. Shut the up. Okay? I wasn't like that. But I would be like, okay, I know. Like, that's how I'd say things. And my grandma told me, she's like, you know, your tone is really... Your tone bothers your grandfather a lot. Blah, blah. It's really, like, passive aggressive or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I don't like that, so I don't want to be like that. Okay. But it was annoying because when I told her, I was like, yeah, but... Because I told her what happened, and she confronted my grandfather, and he admitted to it. But she ended up saying that I should probably leave the house, so that's where I ended up moving out at 17. But I told her, like, well, I'm responding that way because of what he did. Like, anything he says just fucking irritates me. So anyway, there came a Sunday where he thought I ate all these Klondike bars and I didn't. He was the one who is like a sugar nut. Like he loves sugar, so he definitely ate them. But he accused me of it, and at that time we got in a yelling match, and he told me that the car, they were going to take it away, and I was like, the fuck, like that's not fair. Like I had good grades. I and even like I had good grades. Like I know there was one time when I had a D in math and a D in chemistry. So when I say I failed, it's a D, but I've never actually failed a class. But a D is failing. In school terms and in my family terms. But maybe some schools allow D's to be passing. I don't know. But I worked really hard. I was in honors, AP classes. I was in ROTC. I was like a head commander in the ROTC. I was the commander of my flight, color guard commander, PT commander. I won a whole bunch of military awards and stuff like that. And like I was a really good student. I did everything right? All because he decided to be fucking creepy. So they took the car away, and then I had no car. So then college came around. I went to college for a semester and realized I don't want to do all these prerequisites again. It's so fucking annoying. So I dropped out, took all my scholarship money, bought a motorcycle, got my motorcycle license. They didn't like that, but I'm like, first off, you guys won't even teach me how to drive. I had to have a friend teach me, like, the street ways, you know? Because I've been driving since I was a kid. It's pretty easy to drive, but I needed to learn, like, oh, okay, like, when you have, when you make a left-hand turn, you know, where can you make those? Or, like, can you turn on red? Like, things like that. Like, the specific legal things, you know? So I had my friend's father teach me, and I'm very grateful for them. They took me to a parking lot. We ran through some drills, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But nonetheless, growing up, I had to really just fend for myself, which was frustrating because I felt like I was my grandfather's and my grandmother's kid. So I felt like I should have gotten the same treatment as my father, but I didn't. And I had to just kind of fend for my own, which sucked even more because they raised me partially and they knew how bad my joints were. And as much as I love my grandma, I really have a little piece of me that, like, I could never do that to my kid or my grandkid. And they used to help me periodically, like if things got really, really bad, they would help me out. But I don't ask for help much anymore, and because they just don't like helping me. They always made me feel really bad for it, but yet they would so willy-nilly supply my father with a new car if he was drinking and driving. But here I am just needing help because I was really sick that month. And this was before I knew that food was like impacting me the way it is. So it's frustrating. And during this time, that's really what it is. Like I'm trying to really just fend for myself and work my way up to the top. And my grandfather, like I said, has connections. He's Mormon. So Castles and Coasters is like a big thing here in Arizona. And the guy who owns it, he's my grandfather's friend, and really good friend at that. And I asked my grandfather if I could ask him to help me out with my business, and he was very angry at that idea. He did not like that. So I just kind of been like, okay, so what can I do? You know, what can I do to achieve this goal that I want of this restaurant and help my community? Because truthfully, as a kid, my community is what helped me a lot. I was in foster care and stuff, so. And we'll get to that story in another video, but like a detailed version so you guys can know the chronological order or whatever of those events. But yeah, it's a little frustrating. But I think, people who work 9 to 5s are also frustrated. So I think we can all say, we all equally have our frustrations in life. But truthfully, the reason why I do the social media is because, like I said, chronic illness wise, but even if you don't have a chronic illness, picture your life this way, okay? Like, you don't have to answer to managers. You know you're capable of making money. You know you can do that. You know you love what you do, so you're going to be consistent. If you need a day off, you can take a day off. And resting is good for your body. It helps rejuvenate the mind, rejuvenate the body, so that You can do the things that you need to do to be productive. Now, some people love 9 to 5s, and if that's you, hell yeah. And once again, like, I don't mind 9 to 5s. It's just with my health, you know, and I like to be compensated worthily. So, but at this point, like, I want to work for myself and have a restaurant, and that'll be like a 9 to 5 eventually. But I treat my content creating like a 9 to 5. People just don't see it as that. I don't care what people think. Because I could put someone who works in an office through my regime in a day, and then they'd understand how much work it takes. So I don't need to prove to people how much work it takes, because as a matter of fact, most people who hate on you have no followers, no following at whatsoever, and don't even know how to build a following. And then they'll sit and hate on you and don't realize how difficult it is to build a following, especially when there's trolls constantly getting your accounts taken down. So not only have I built my account once, twice, 3 times, I built it so many times I can't even count, okay? So at this point, I'm confident that I will be able to gain traction. I just want to gain the traction with the right people this time. And that's the autoimmune people. That's the people who want to learn about how to make money on social media, how to, you know, whatever. And I'm still going through the journey, so you guys are seeing me still at the beginning of this journey. But I feel like I'm about to reach this next chapter where things are going to get a lot better. And that's because my platform was returned to me. They wrongfully terminated it, I guess, so they reopened it, and I was allowed to have my OF back, and then Patreon and stuff like that. So things are slowly but surely building and getting more comfortable, but you have to open up avenues to receive that money, if that makes sense, and that even means mentally. So, and we'll get into that in a bit in another video, but yeah, with social media and content creating, it's all about strategy and being consistent, like I said. And although my joints suck, I have found with social media ways that I can be consistent with it, like doing videos with me just sitting in bed, right? I can at least do that, you know? So while I would love to be up in the kitchen baking cookies and stuff and selling those and, you know, doing photo shoots and making money that way, this is kind of the best I've got, and I hope this week will be even better and whatnot. But honestly, like with the chronic illness, you'll see, for now, until things, I don't want to think this way. It used to be very up and down, but now, because I know exactly what I need to do, and it's just about complacency. Remember I mentioned Charles in the other video? This is literally like, I'm sure other people have said this, but there's certain things that people in my life have said that really resonate with me. And like my friend Sierra, there's a certain phrase that she said, timing is impeccable, because we were talking about manifesting. And like, there's certain phrases that someone just says, and it really just sticks so hard with me. And so Charles forever will be that person who said that phrase to me. Complacency is a bitch. It is. It's comfortable. It is. Complacency will be a bitch because complacency is comfortable. And sometimes when you're meant to do more, you're meant to grow, things will become uncomfortable. It's much like, in a literal sense, wearing a pair of pants, and you're growing and they become a little too tight, a little uncomfortable, you know? So you gotta get a new pair of pants. You gotta get a new, you know, whatever it is, job, position, whatever. And so TikTok hasn't been like the greatest community to me. I have, like I said, girls on there who are just catty because they deem me as prettier than them, which is so funny because it's literally just all projection. Because I could look at them and think, oh, they're gorgeous. I don't ever compare like prettier than me. Like, I don't compare like that. You are gorgeous as fuck on your own. You don't need to compare to people to be gorgeous, handsome, worthy, anything like that. Just standing on your own, you are worthy without comparison to anyone or anything. And then I get the troll dudes on TikTok who are really mean. So I'm really grateful for the YouTube community, because you guys are quite like my Twitch community, which are very, very open and accepting. And I know my ideas can be a little crazy. I know I can be a little frantic. I know I can be a little all over the place. It's the ADHD, and truthfully, the ADHD and the arthritis are the things that I struggle with the most. And I don't really struggle with ADHD, to be honest. It's just when my joints are bad, I struggle with ADHD, because it's like the ADHD wants to do stuff, but my body can't. It physically can't. And while I could bring my scooter to places, people just look at you weird. And truthfully, you know, society will always deem people who are chronically ill and like physically showing those signs as less. As a matter of fact, if you watch like documentaries or whatever crime shit, you will know that there's people out there who have sick fantasies and they go after people that society deems as less. So if you are sick physically and you show it, I think it's like ingrained in people's brains that you are like less valuable to society. And that's why I'll be streaming and I'll get these guys who will come in and just berate the hell out of me because of my joints. And that, to an extent, it's not something I can control. I want to be able to control it, so that's why I'm trying so hard with my diet and stuff, because I don't want my life to be like this. I want to do my restaurant. I want to help people. I want to cook for people. I want to connect with people that are like-minded. And I feel like, you know, when I make my restaurant, I'll be able to connect with people that are like me because they like my food. So obviously there's somewhere we can relate, you know. But yeah, honestly, truthfully, despite all that being said, I love content creating because it gives me the freedom and it gives me the ability to connect with people. And I would love to be kind of like a therapist before the therapist. Like, I know a lot of people can't afford therapy, but I purposely set my life up to where I can focus on helping others. And I keep the people in my life who are in my life, they have their shit handled. I don't need to help them. I'll let you out in a minute, Shredder. And like when I do help them, it's a lot easier because they have their stuff handled. And it doesn't feel like I have to like show up for them, and if I don't show up for them, then I won't be their friend anymore to them, you know? So the people that I've attracted in my life by standing and being authentic and talking about who I truly am are literally some of the best people I've ever freaking met. I've had the most support because of the community that I've met through these things, right? And so that's what I'm hoping to do by this, is just finding the community that's right for me. And I really think YouTube will be that, because once again, who's going to listen to this? If they don't resonate with this, if they don't like me, I doubt they'll be watching this long ass video. And short form content, you get people who will just make those quick assumptions, whatever. And I get that on YouTube too, but not as much. It's such a better group of people on YouTube. I wish I would have started a long time ago, but I'm just very grateful for the community that I have, because I wouldn't be able to do the content creating and having this life without those people who support my content. And just support what I do and see my journey and see my goals and know that I'm going to get there, which is even more better because there's days where I really doubt myself. I'm like, am I crazy? Like, I really want a $4 million restaurant. I don't even have rent. I still have $1,800 left to earn today in rent. How am I going to get a $4 million startup for a restaurant? But I'm going to just keep believing that it's going to happen when the time is right. Like Sierra said, the timing is impeccable. Divine timing, whatever you want to call it, it's always right. So I'm just going to keep doing what I want to do. And I think as long as I'm doing what makes me happy, which what makes me happy is helping others by giving knowledge that I've obtained. And I love learning. So it's just like kind of like a domino effect of things that I love to do. So I want to help people if it could mean changing their life around in a better way. Some people think therapy is always the answer, but truthfully, therapy is not always the answer. Understanding what went on in your life and having the critical thinking skills to understand in a different way that it's not your fault is what's important. And that's why it's really corny when you go to therapy, they're like, okay, first I want you to realize it's not your fault. I always hated when they said that, because growing up in foster care, they make you have a lot of therapy, and I always hated it because I'm like, I know it's not my fault. What the fuck? Like, to me, it was never my fault. I never thought it was my fault, but I've never had this victim mindset. I've always known that people do things because it's an extension of them, you know, things that they're going through. So I've been through a lot. I want to help people who've been through similar, or who can resonate with what I'm going through or went through, and maybe something I say can help them. I don't know. That's all I want to do. And then find my community at the same time. You guys will come to learn that I do things I will usually only do things for if it has multiple birds with one stone kind of thing. Like, I don't like to go to the store just for one item. I will only go to the store for one item if I have to go get my meds at another store, and maybe I've been craving food and I'll go get food or something, you know. I won't do one thing on social media just for the one thing. It will always be for multiple reasons, to help people, to inspire people, to teach people, to make people laugh, to make money, to support whatever, if I'm shouting out some pages, whatever. By the way, if you like this Taco Hell shirt, K Crow Creations, she made it. She's just a small business. Be wary of her ship times, okay? So, not weary, but like she's a small business. She has 3-4 kids. She makes the money in her home, so shipping sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, gets delayed. But she has her plate full, so just understand that. But she makes really affordable custom stuff, high quality. I can't tell you how many times I've washed this. It says Taco Hell. So you can get this in this shirt, a t-shirt, a hoodie, booty shorts if you wanted, like anything. A mug. She makes everything. I love her shop. I just have to buy from her shop differently, like in bulk. I used to have merch with her, and I still do, but I can't find places that, I don't know. It doesn't matter. But nonetheless, she's really great. I really love her stuff. If she had, you know, I bet she had help or like a little funding or something, things would be a little more streamlined for her. But she's also, like myself, in the beginning stages of content creating. I hope this will be the year for me, and people who have really helped me through my journey. Like, assuming this will be the year for me, right? Like, say I take off this month, I'll be buying bulk merch from her because I like her prices and I like the merch and I like whatever. And she lives right down the street from me, so it's just having to send in orders every time I get an order and then send it to her, like one on every, you know, it gets a little, like, the ship times are just not what I want, but I can control the ship times if I buy in bulk. So once, you guys will see, once you guys will see these things happen, because these are things I've been wanting to happen. I've been working towards it, and my stream has seen it, and so we're gonna continue this with YouTube. I'm still gonna be on TikTok, so if you're watching still, thank you for watching. My new schedule is gonna look like just daily videos. It's gonna be me just chitter-chatting here in bed, or maybe driving. You know how it's been. Hopefully this month we'll get back to cooking. I have an adventure cookbook, Adventure Time cookbook that I've been working on. That that it what am I saying? My mind's everywhere. I have like 7 thoughts at once happening. You'll see that happen too. Like, I'll pause. I know I have like irregular cadence, but it's because there's so many thoughts. The voices. No, I'm just kidding. But there's so many thoughts at once, so it's like I'm trying to like scramble them out as I speak, you know? Or like I'll be thinking of something, I'll be talking, and then there'll be a side quest going on of another thought, and for a second my mind hops on that horse, and I'm like, no, come back here. Anyway, that might not make any sense, but yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, I just really want to help y'all start your journey, and I'm not at the top yet, but you guys will see it. You guys will be the OGs, and I'm grateful for you guys who have supported my journey so far. And I'm very excited. I would like to think this December, my goal is to start this little bar. So that's the goal. I won't start that until I have like a savings, and I want to put money down for that and get a loan with that. Like, I would love to think, okay, what if I earn 50K, right? Bust my ass this month somehow and make a 50K month, and then do it again. And then I could use that money, the 50K, for putting a down payment for a loan for my bar. I know my bar will be very successful because through the social media journey, I've learned a lot about social media marketing and stuff like that. So I'm very excited to implement everything I've learned. But nonetheless, through this, I'm grateful to start at the beginning, kind of, to where you guys on YouTube can see, I'm not there yet, but I will be. You guys will see, like, this is like the top of the bottom. Does that make sense? Like, this was like, I was at the bottom of the barrel, and this is like, I'm finally at the top of that. But now we're going into the overflow, where it's just like nothing but good shit coming. That's what I feel like is happening. So I'm really excited, and I'm really grateful for those who are going to be along for the journey. And I hope this just inspires you to start your social media journey yourself, whatever that looks like. Hair, makeup, trucks, trains, food, cooking, whatever, talking to people. I just talk, and pretty much what it's going to be is I'm going to give a daily spiel, and then every other day I'm going to do a podcast on my Twitch, and then I'll stream on TikTok, and I'll be doing TikTok shop stuff and Patreon photo shoots and OF photo shoots. So it's all over the place, as you can see, but I like it that way. It's actually very organized. It's just a lot. So it takes a lot, and it's hard because I do it all alone. All my filming, all my ideas, all, you know, along with the chronic illness, barely being able to walk, and then taking care of my 4 dogs. It's a lot, but I love it. I love my life, and I'm grateful that I'm slowly getting to this point where chronic illness is getting better, so social media will get better. And even if you are a chronic illness baddie, girl or boy, even if your chronic illness doesn't get better, and I will have videos on how I've healed my chronic illness too, okay? I want to help with everything that I can. If I die tomorrow, like, I just want to have all these videos out to help people, so that way I can still help people after I'm dead. But nonetheless, I will have videos on how I've healed my chronic illness, because the last year, I would say, especially the last couple months, I've felt the best I've felt in the last 9 years. But social media really made that possible for me. That was the first step, was taking that risk, and just, it was that one day where I just stared at all those beer cans, White Claws or whatever, and I was like, ugh, I don't want to be like this anymore. How am I going to get my restaurant like this, you know? And essentially I'm just preparing for the life that I want, is what I've been doing. So I'll be really excited for the day that I open my restaurant doors, and that'll be the day that you guys, if you're in the vicinity, can come try it. And if you like the food, then I hope that inspires you even more to start your journey, whatever that looks like. Even if it's not social media, even if it's just like you've been wanting to do something yourself and you are scared to take that risk. Truthfully, your soul, your heart, whatever, would not resonate with the thing that you want to do so bad if you weren't meant to do it. That's what I believe. And even if you don't stick with it for your whole life, you don't have to stick with things for your whole life. You are meant to just experience things. And I know my restaurant I'll stick with my whole life, because food is like something I'm obsessed with. It's never going to go away. And it's a creative outlet, stuff like that. But nonetheless, if this could just inspire people to do what they want, maybe they want to start that business. Maybe they need to go move to a new state. You know, simple things like that. It doesn't have to be business oriented or anything. I just want to help inspire people and help them achieve the best things for themselves that they want to achieve. Because it's possible. You gotta really want that for yourself, though. You have to want it more than you have to want others to be happy around you, okay? Because doing what you want for yourself is gonna piss people off. Let me tell you that much. But yeah, on a day-to-day basis, really, I'm very organized with my stuff. Chronic illness-wise, it does impact me. It makes things a little difficult. The scooter is nice because it makes things a lot easier, but it's up and down. It's a roller coaster. Some days it's easy to deal with. Some days it's not. Some days I can get a lot of videos done and content done and money made. Some days I can't. So, and it's always, you know, not always, but I've been doing this for about a year. So this social media journey has been a roller coaster. I used to want to do this. I did this on my Facebook, but I wasn't as open and like out there on social media. But now I'm learning to be okay with being seen and being okay with these freaking weird ass haters and stuff like that. So it is what it is. But yeah, I think it's really blessed my life, and that's really why I want to talk about it, because I really will be talking a lot more about how to build your social media and stuff like that, because I really want people who are in the same position to get the relief and the reprieve and the rest and vacation mindset, whatever going on. Like, I get to sleep in if I want every day, and like I said, I don't have to call anyone. If my joints hurt that day, I don't have to tell anyone. I just take care of my body. I just take a bath. I load myself up with CBD. I eat good foods. I rest a lot. And a lot of people wish they could do that, but they can. You can. You just got to start social media, and you don't have to show your face. You literally don't have to tell anyone that you do social media for work. You can still keep your same job and make hella money on the side. There's so many people that I know of that are making 10, 20K months because of social media. Now, I'm on the baby end because I really don't know what I'm doing. and I do it all alone, and I figure it out all alone. Like, I set all my Twitch up alone and the OBS and everything, so it requires a lot of learning, but I'm very much into the tech side of things, so it's okay to learn that for me. So yeah, it's taking a little time, but I really think in a year from now, we're gonna see a very big difference. And I just hope, if anything, because I like to lead by action. I don't like to be talking about what I do. I just prefer people see it. But the problem with that is that people don't see it. They overlook it. And the things that they overlook are a very important part to my journey to succeeding. And I really want to help people succeed. So I have to kind of talk about my methods and strategies and philosophies and things like that, so that you guys can kind of understand and maybe even adapt your own of what I say, or take on the same philosophy, because these are things that really stuck with me and really helped me get to where I'm at. And so, yeah, although the chronic illness is a shitty factor, I wouldn't be in this position, I don't think, if I didn't have this chronic illness. And I've taken the time to really prioritize my health, and that has helped me really have this lifestyle that's rather enjoyable. I'm not gonna lie. I just do whatever I want. I like to talk. For a while I wanted to be a high school like motivational speaker. I like to talk and teach people and give knowledge, like I said, and inspire people. And if I can do it without having to leave my home, hell yeah. And then I can make money on top of it, hell yeah. And I have been able to, and maybe you don't feel like you're inspirational, but you probably are, okay? There's one girl that I follow that comes to mind, that for when she first started, she's very plain looking, which isn't bad. Like, I have nothing against plain looking people. I don't want that to sound mean. It's just like, when you look at her, you would not think like influencer, right? She just started TikTok making milkshakes. She liked milkshakes a lot, so she would just make a new milkshake every day. And then of course the haters like, oh, you drink these every day, so you've been watching. But you know, and then she blew up. She blew up online, and then all of a sudden you see she's getting Gucci bags and being hosted trips by businesses and companies and whatever brands. And so I would love to see my whatever followers, I don't know what to call you guys. I don't really like saying followers because it feels very impersonal. But I would love to see y'all be in a similar journey, right? Because I'm starting that journey, but if you're scared to start that journey, anyone can do it. You don't have to have tattoos, you don't have to be a girl, you don't have to be a boy, you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to show your face, okay? If you really want money, you can make it online, and I'm just here to tell people that, because, and if you need help, like, tell me below if you need help with that, like what kind of things you want help with, like what kind of ways you would like to go with it, and I could come up with some ideas for you. But yeah, the chronic illness thing sucks, but with the social media journey, with being a content creator, it's really the only thing that's kept me alive is switching to content creating. I wouldn't be able to go in and out of the hospital like I've been, in and out of procedures, testing medicine, because sometimes medicine will have me in my bed for months at a time because it doesn't fucking work, so I'm just crippled. And medicine for myself, for my illness, if I'm taking a medicine right now, I have to be off of it for a month. So I'm off of it for a month already. I'm in extreme pain. And then I take a new medicine, and it takes about 2 to 6 months to start working. Usually they don't start working till 6 months. That's why I really like this new med that I'm on, because it works within like a week, and I just start feeling better and better. So it's really important that I stay on this medicine until I'm in remission, and then maybe I can start getting off these meds. But the diet is so important for my remission, because I've only been in remission once. That was when I was like in high school, 16, 17 to 18. 19, things started progressing downhill again, and 20 is when I left to figure out what the hell's going on to Colorado. But we're going to talk more about my chronic illness in a separate segment, and my illness journey, because that is a lot on its own. And yeah, so, but I'm grateful again for you guys for listening to my spiel. If this is your sign to start social media, if you're looking for a sign to start social media, this is your sign. I'm happy to help. I love helping people with this stuff. You have to have the want for it, okay? You can't just post like whatever content. You have to be intentional with your content. But nonetheless, it's easy work when you get it in the rhythm, you know? So, happy to help anyone with that. I'm still building it myself, so I'm grateful that you guys get to see me at the beginning of this journey still. Because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to be in this fancy ass house with my Lambo. No, I don't want a Lambo. I want a GTR. I want a GTR and a BMW 2002, 1970. And then a BRZ. But yeah, when you guys see me saying this stuff and I had all that, if I like had this wealthy whatever, I think it'd be harder to imagine like, oh, I could do that too, because a lot of y'all are probably in the 9 to 5s and whatnot. But yeah, you can do it too. You can do it right alongside your 9 to 5. I have so many ideas. Like, you could tell me anything that you want to do online. I will give you so many ideas on how to go about it. So feel free to drop that in the comments. But I'm going to go earn some money so I can pay my rent tonight. So feel free to join me on Twitch and TikTok today. I'm about 1,800 away from my goal. I have to pay this tonight because I'm paying off a late fee. So otherwise, if I don't, they're going to start the eviction process because I'm still paying off the late fee. That's like the rules or whatever. So if you want to join us and help me meet my goal for my birthday, check out my Linktree. We'll be on TikTok and Twitch. Just raising that money. And you can find me on Snapchat if you want to buy content or Patreon and stuff like that. Feel free to donate if you want. If you want to throw $5 or $1 towards my goal. Nonetheless, I think I might start streaming on YouTube as well. But we'll see. We'll see. I know there's a restream where you can stream to like multiple platforms at once or whatever. I never had luck with that, but maybe I did it wrong. Because when I did it, I got no traffic. It was very rare. Very rare, as in that's never happened. So, yeah. But that's kind of what it's like, you know, with a chronic illness. Day to day, like, I keep my meals very simple. I'm very lucky for the scooter because for a while I couldn't go out into my kitchen because I couldn't go out there. And so that's why I'm grateful for this bedroom door in my bedroom to the backyard because when I'm really, really sick, I don't have to like walk very far. I take the dogs out and they can go out and go potty and stuff. And because I feel really bad because when I was in the apartment doing content creating, that's when I did OnlyFans. I didn't do really TikTok. I did TikTok, but not marketing. I didn't realize that it could be used as a marketing tool. So I feel so bad because like there'd be times when they'd go like 12 hours, maybe even a whole day without going bathroom. Not multiple days in a row. It'd be like very once in a blue moon, but I was really, really sick and I handled everything on my own. So it was just, yeah, I'm just grateful that my dogs are still alive and now we're all able to enjoy this beautiful home. And I'm grateful because it has the door to the backyard, and when I'm really sick, I don't have to do much to be able to let them out and use the bathroom, take care of them. And it's a backyard, so they can run around and stuff too. So, and if you're in an apartment, like, just know that you can be in this position too. I was in a real crappy apartment. Like I said, I did content creating, but it was more just SW. I didn't realize that I could do other things, you know? So now I am. But yeah, I was in a crappy little apartment. Now I'm here, and things are a lot better now that I'm here with my illness. And like I said, my meals are very simple. The dogs, their food stays in a pot because I heat it up every morning and every night. And I make a big batch of chicken broth, which part of it is for their food, part of it is my breakfast, my first breakfast in the morning. Second breakfast is, like I said, breakfast burrito or maybe In-N-Out protein style burger. No soda, no fries, just a burger and water. And then I'll come home and drink my smoothie and do vlogging. And I really cater to my joints at this point. And the reason why I want to make this is because I want to make another video of ADHD and anyone else. BPD, ADHD, autism, ADD. I don't know if autism and ADHD are... I don't know. I really don't know much about these things. I was just diagnosed. I'm still learning about them. But I want people to recognize that if they lead with catering to themselves, then their life will be a lot happier. I promise you. And that's where I think like my illness forced me to just cater to myself. I was a big people pleaser. I overexerted myself for so many people, which we'll talk about people pleasing and how to get out of that in another video. But yeah, because I've prioritized my health, it's really actually been a blessing. Even though the health part of it sucks and dealing with the trolls suck, it's every day I focus on how can I make my joints better? What can I do to make my joints better? You know, and what can I do to earn money that doesn't overexert my joints, that's literally possible for me. Like, it's realistic for me. You know, because some people are like, just get a job. A, the job market I hear is awful. You can't get a job for like 3 months applying. B, physically I cannot get a job. Even working from home, like I said, sitting for long periods of time makes my ankles swell. Just sitting like this. Like if I sat for like 4 hours like this, my ankles would just be swollen as hell, and it doesn't go away. And then I have to do that every day. I can't. And some people's bodies are just way better than mine. And just because I'm young, like I am healthy, but like I'm not healthy to that standard to where I can walk and do things normal like that. I need accommodations, and most workplaces are not accommodating. And legally they have to be, but they're not. They'll find ways to not be. They'll find ways to get rid of you so that they don't have to be, because it's extra money for them. So I've really just learned to kind of cater to myself and trying to find a niche for myself. And I just kind of created my own little niche and did my own little thing. And now I'm taking it serious. Now that my joints are getting better, I know I can do this. I know I can get to that 3 million. I know I can build my platform. I know I can help people. I know I can get into that financial stability, get into remission. And I just want you guys to see this so that if you want to do anything for yourself, that if it could inspire you to do it, then at least I've helped somewhat. But yeah, and I think every day I'll do like a walking vlog. My walking isn't terrible today, but it's not the best. I think I took my meds this morning. I guess we'll do like a walking vlog every day to see myself progressing. I hope it's progressing, because some days if I eat bad things, it degresses. But as long as I keep strict to my diet, I'll be progressing. So I'm not perfect in walking yet, but I guess it's a good time for you guys to see like the little last bits of me struggling physically. I just prefer to be like real for y'all. I'm always translucent. I'm always transparent. Well, I am translucent. I glow kind of blue sometimes. But I'm always transparent, because even with rent, even with what I make, because I want you guys to know that you guys can do this too. You don't deserve to live in poverty. You don't deserve to be poor. You don't deserve to overexert your body, practically killing your body for these bosses who will literally replace you tomorrow if you passed away. Okay? Worry about your happiness, what makes you happy, because most of us aren't working jobs that make us happy. We do it out of fear of survival. And this goes along with my spiritual stuff. The universe will back you if you show that you trust it. You know, the universe is your mirror, God is your mirror, whatever. You gotta put that first. That's why I think it's important to start things imperfectly, because you got to show the universe that you are willing to start. It doesn't matter if you're not ready. You want it so bad that you are willing to start, and you're going to put that effort into it, and the universe will match that. That's really what I believe. So yeah, I'm just excited because I think you guys should just expect daily videos, and then like every other day I'll be posting my podcasts. And then once my joints get better, we'll be, like I said, up in the kitchen. We'll be eating at places. We'll be shopping around. I don't like shopping around because it's really difficult to hold my phone and vlog and walk. And so I end up holding the phone at like a really weird angle, and it's just not a good time to watch. You know, when I watch it, I'm like, I don't really like this. So when my walking's a little better, I want to do vlogs of like me going out, because I haven't been out in a bit. I started a little bit, but then July kind of tanked, which is okay. It was really hot anyway. So we're going to restart that this month. But you guys are going to watch that journey, and I'm just grateful for those who care enough to watch it. I'm grateful for you guys, and I'm grateful for those who just comment and support my stuff. You guys make me feel special and cared about, truly. I don't have a lot of people in my life, so it means a lot to me that there's like random internet strangers who see me and they're like, yeah, I fuck with that. That's cool shit right there. And I really appreciate it, because people donate and they subscribe to my stuff, and that literally keeps it so that I can keep worrying about my health. And while it's not there yet, I will be in remission, so it won't be so much on my plate, but you guys are allowing me to focus on my health. So I'm literally always grateful for you guys. And I just want to remind you, you don't have to have health issues to do content creating. You can be perfectly healthy. I think everyone deserves to be able to make money while they sleep easily, and everyone can. You don't have to have OF. You can literally make money through TikTok. You can make money through YouTube, anything. You don't have to show your face, once again, you know. Anyway, I'm happy to help y'all with that. So this is just like my little intro to that. The next videos, we'll probably talk about my medical journey, how to stop people pleasing, and then my spiritual journey. Because those kind of go hand in hand. And then from there, I think Monday will start. So I don't know what Monday's topic will be, but we'll be doing a podcast on it that night. So, yeah. Anyway, I gotta skedaddle, you guys. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna be as consistent as I can with the YouTube. It's difficult because I run out of space, but I think I can do it. I think now just allocating every morning, whether or not I go out every morning to doing a vlog, will be good. Okay? Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. Just know you're wonderful. Know you're beautiful. Take care of yourself. Hydrate and eat. Okay? Slap your ass. Call yourself beautiful because you fucking are. Okay? But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow on Sunday. Feel free to hang out with me on TikTok today. I'm gonna try to earn rent. So yeah. And Twitch. So take care of you guys self. I love you. Thanks for supporting my shenanigans. Mwah, mwah. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.